let's take a look at our top selections for Dan Illman, Mike Beer. The feature race at Monmouth Park on opening day Friday is the Jersey Derby. Let's throw up the field for race number 5. We're going a mile on the turf for 3-year-olds. $100,000 is the purse. 9 entered to run. The 9 pick and time is entered main track only. The morning line favorite, Mike, is the 7. It Can Be Done, a stakes winner over this course last year at 2, only beaten a neck last time out by a Nex, who's likely going to be one of the featured players in the Penn Mile on Friday.
Yeah, this horse is pretty good, but it'll be interesting to see how they wind up betting the race, Dan. I can certainly see It Can Be Done taking some money in here, but there are plenty of other horses that could also get bet.
Let's take a look at the Timeform US pace projector for this race. I'm not sure the pace is going to be fast, but it should be fair. Indian Lake, the 4, has early speed. I think the 2 bringing the heat can be closer to the lead. I would expect the 7, It Can Be Done, to be forward. That's the style that he utilized last time out, and he ran a career best number.
He ran pretty well last time contesting that pace, settled for a pretty close third in there. He showed plenty of speed as a 2-year-old. I thought he could make the lead as well.
A horse that might be adaptable to any kind of pace scenario is the number 1, It's a Gamble. Let's go back to his most recent effort. A second-place finish in the Woodhaven Stakes behind an impressive odds-on winner named Hard Love. Nice trip for It's a Gamble. Sat the pocket most of the way, eases out into the stretch. He tries really hard to be easily second best, Mike, and it was nice to see him perform this well around 2 turns because both of his prior wins were as a late-running sprinter.
Yeah, there's an argument to be made that he's just better as a late-running sprinter, Dan. He's been very impressive in his sprint wins, but he's also run pretty well around 2 turns. I mean, there are several excuses for his 2-turn races in the past. I thought he ran fine last time. He didn't have any excuse in there, except that the winner, Hard Love, is just a better horse than he is. This horse got a good trip in that race, and I thought he ran fine.
Might get another nice strip breaking from the inside here. The number 2 is Bringing the Heat, a course winner. Scored in this race at Monmouth way back on October the 4th, but he needed a drop into a maiden claiming race to do so. Let's watch Bringing the Heat win that $40,000 maiden claimer. He got up close. He's going to win in a dead heat performance. Only a 58 buyer speed figure, and it seems the connections have found a tough spot for his seasonal debut.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're showing a little confidence coming back in this race, Dan. We'll see how it all plays out. He obviously has to improve quite a bit to go with this field. He is first time as a 3-year-old. Maybe he'll take a step forward. He's going to have to.
Spectatorless, the number 3, has a race this year. Didn't do much on dirt at Parks in that effort. His one and only turf start, he was well handled by It's a Gamble. He seemed very eager in that race. Maybe stretching back out's the key because he won his career debut in an off-the-turf 2-turn event at Monmouth.
Yeah, maybe the distance will work for him. I guess he could get forward in this race as well. Overall, Dan, outside of the debut win in a race that was scheduled for the grass, I mean, he really hasn't done that much running.
4-time winner Indian Lake might have been in a little steep in the James W. Murphy. That race wasn't the toughest in the world, but the winner TD Dance has some potential for trainer Brad Cox. He was up close to the pace. He tired in the stretch. He kind of runs the same race. It's usually a buyer speed figure in the mid to high 70s.
Yeah, he's attained a level at this point. I guess we'll see if he uses his speed here. He did run okay first time on turf last time. I feel like the 1-2 finishes of that race are both pretty good. This horse did the best that he could do in there, and it wasn't good enough. I'm not sure that this is necessarily class relief, Dan, but maybe it's a little bit of class relief.
Hot Blooded, the number 5, was a stakes winner at Tampa Bay Downs with Lasix on 2 starts back. Now, the Lasix came off at Gulfstream most recently. He also caught a wettish turf course and didn't fire his best shot. Maybe getting the Lasix back on can propel him to at least more of a tactical gear that he showed 2 starts up back.
Yeah, maybe he does have tactical speed. I don't know, Dan. I haven't seen the race that he's run that would get me very interested in him against a field like this one. I just felt like he was a horse in here who had to improve, but maybe he'll be a price.
Stakes winner at 2 was Hot Blooded at Gulfstream, 4th in that sophomore turf with Lasix on 2 starts back, and now we'll get Lasix on again. Sifting sands for Chad Brown. He could certainly do worse than playing Chad Brown in a race like this. This horse scored at Tampa 2 starts back. Thought got a very nice trip and ride that day going up the rail, but he certainly finished the race off. Last time out in the Woodhaven, we saw that race. Hard Love was better. Maybe he had too much work to do in the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't necessarily feel like he got a very comfortable trip in that race, Dan. They did rate him right from the start. He was always at the back, always between horses, never really looked like he was in a very comfortable position to make a run. He did get bumped. He was in tight between horses at the top of the stretch. He got bumped a little bit in there. But then when he came clear, he really didn't run at all. Again, if he was trained by anybody else, I'd probably be willing to give him a chance because it feels like he could be a real price in here. And maybe he had a real excuse last time, but he's trained by Chad Brown. That means he probably gets bet, and I wouldn't take a short price on him.
The 7 is It Can Be Done, winner of the Now Stakes at Monmouth last year. Let's watch his most recent race, the Cutler Bay, back on March the 27th. It Can Be Done got close to the pace. He was very game in here, just going to be worn down in the end by the even money favorite, Annex. Just seems like he's getting a little bit of class relief, and with his tactical speed, he's somewhat dangerous, but he was 12-1 in this race, and he'll be only a fraction of that price in the Jersey Derby.
Yeah, we'll see what price he winds up going up at. He's a morning line favorite. He ran well in that race. I thought, Dan, that was second off the layoff. I liked him as a 2-year-old, too. I thought he ran really well in some of his 2-year-old races, and I respect his speed a great deal. I think there's a chance he could take another step forward in here, and if he does, he could be pretty hard to beat.
Riptide Rock is a son of Point of Entry that has only raced once previously on turf. That was his career debut, and he was no secret. Bet to favoritism that day in a sprint at Woodbine. And let's watch that race. I like the way he did it. He's going to sweep on the outside from stalking gear. He's going to run right by these horses, and he wins in ridden out fashion, drawing away 73 Beyer speed figure. Interesting that this horse wintered at Oaklawn where there were no turf opportunities. It's not like he was embarrassed in those races, but he just seems like a turf horse.
Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, if nothing else, it's probably a positive if they come back to turf for the first time with him, Dan. I'll be honest, I'm conflicted about what to do with this horse in this race. I thought he looked good winning that turf debut that we just watched there. When you go back in Formulator, though, and take that field apart, I feel like he was just beating an awful, awful, awful field of horses. And you could just see in the replay there was nobody running in there except for this horse. We'll see what happens. I think he's going to be, I think he's dangerous in here. I just want to see what kind of price he is first because I don't know how good that race was.
All fair arguments as we take a look at our picks for the Jersey Derby. I like the visuals for Riptide Rock. You're absolutely right. I mean, he had them strung out from Toronto to Edmonton, which makes you question the quality of that field. And Formulator doesn't lie when you look at the next race statistics. It's a Gamble's just a hard-trying, honest horse. And I think that last race was a step in the right direction that shows handicappers, yes, a 2-turn mile should at least be within his scope.
That's what I thought. And at the end of the day, Dan, I just feel like I trust him more than I trust the other horses in the race. I think he's going to show up and he's going to run his race in here. Maybe it won't be good enough. I don't think he's going to be the favorite. I think this horse is pretty good. I'm going to take him.
Same exacta, different order. Mike's going 1-8-6-7. I'm going 8-1-7-5 in the Jersey Derby on opening day Friday at Monmouth Park. Good luck.